Food. I've planted it, grown it, plucked it, picked it, cropped it, killed it, gutted it, caught it, frozen it, served it, chewed it, tasted it, swallowed it, munched it, peeled it, burned it, baked it, fried it, boiled it, and loved it. So let's talk about it. Shallots. First thing, let's create some confusion, alright? So there are shallots, echalots, scallions, spring onions, and green onions, and in a lot of places across the world, and particularly in Australia, there's confusion as to which one's which. Myself, I can't find a definitive resource to clearly clarify, but I'll give you my version. So, to me, these, the long ones, they come in a bunch, are echalots. Some people may know them as green onions, and particularly Americans will know them as scallions. Alright, I use them as echalots. They have many uses. There's a green section at the top and there's a white section at the bottom. They normally come with the roots on. The best way to clean them is to take off the first layer of leaf, which is often a little bit wilted or a little bit gone, and you just peel it back and you'll take off the first layer, and that also helps to wash off the first bits of dirt. As you can see, they get on you. Also, washing them in water is a great idea, and that'll take off any of the dirt during growing that gets down into the leaf area. When using them, you'll find the white end has got a flavour more of onion, whereas the green end has a flavour more of leek. So with onions, there's probably a scale you could draw, and you could have onions at one end and leeks at the other end, and then all of these fit slightly in between. So if I was to use, if I'm using echalots, I use the white end for chopping, and I prefer to see the white end cooked. You can use it raw in salads, but I prefer to see that white end cooked like an onion. So just finely chopped. And you'll see, like an onion, it's got rings all the way up. And that will come apart when you cook it. The green section is great in salads or as used as a garnish. So in salads you can use it just as a straight angle cut, or you can use it as a straight cross cut, or you can use it to make some garnishes. So I'll quickly make some garnishes and I'll be back in a sec. Okay, so in the bowl is some ice water, and what I've done is quickly fanned out the garnish, and as it sits in the water, these fans curl back. If you actually leave it overnight, they'll often curl right back into themselves and look a bit like a lamb frill on top of a lamb rack. So that's a lovely garnish, and you can just put that into some dip or something like that when you've got crackers. This is a simple one. Very similar, but with the area further up, the green area further up, and it'll curl right back and be hollow. These are the angle cuts. When they go into ice water, they'll curl back as well, so you'll get a really nice finish on them. The fine julienne will also curl and makes it a great bundle garnish. And last but not least, the white section, you can put it into ice water and it will curl, but just remember, as I said earlier, its flavour is very much like an onion, so uncooked can be a little bit harsh. To me, an actual shallot is closer to the onion family. In fact, it's between onions and garlic sort of right off the end of the onion family. So a shallot is a dried out onion, and it has little bunches like cloves do that come apart. And you can peel it very similar to the way we peel onions, except you don't need to dish it out, only because they're so small. So you just top and tail, peel them down, and you'll find inside is a beautiful little onion. Often they'll have a pink colour, and sometimes they'll have a golden colour, depending on the variety. These suckers can really pack a punch, so expect to cry if you want to peel any amount of these. Very good for cutting into fine dice and making a beautiful sauce with. Or I like them just cut very thinly across, like that, trying to keep them in their rings, and then you just toss them in some light plain flour and then saute them in some oil until they're golden brown, drain them out, and then make beautiful little crisp garnishes. Fantastic on stir fry, really good. The other confusion with shallots are these little babies. Now, you'll often find them right next to the eschalots in the fruit and veggie section, but these are what I would call a spring onion, only because in my mind I think of spring, I think of baby, I think of a small onion. So these have the top stalk as well as a small onion underneath. These are excellent if you're doing a nice roast or even a casserole. So you take the bottom root section off, a small part of the white can remain, and then peel them down as you would the eschalots, because they're fairly young and easy to peel, and you'll have a beautiful little onion with a top. There we go. And once you put that into a beautiful stock or into a roast with some oil, with your other roast vegetables, you'll have a fantastic eating onion. Really, really nice in flavour. Beautiful. The top section of these, in a pinch, you can use these like eschalots, so you can cut them across and use them as a garnish, but I think you'll find their flavour closer to an onion and less further away from the leek flavour, so not as nice in a fresh sort of green salad or something like that. Alright, so I hope I've confused the pants off you, but taught you some nice things about shallots, eschalots, scallions and spring onions. Thank you. Don't forget to visit our Facebook page and leave your comments. I'd like to thank Amanda, Christine and Donna from the Facebook page with your suggestions. Stay tuned because your ideas are in the fry pan. Next episode, I'll be looking at this little baby, eggplant or aubergine. And very soon we'll be looking at mushrooms and hopefully cover that mushroom sauce that Amanda's asked for. Thanks again and goodbye.